What's up, guys? So today's video is on stage list for Frostbite. Also me complaining a little bit about losing and getting 17th. Lost to T, who got really underseeded. He was 10th seed before they changed him to 28th. And then, I just ran into him. I practiced with Sinji to get ready for the matchup, but I feel like T was just a lot harder to fight than Sinji on Wi-Fi. So I wasn't really ready for a lot of T setups. And then Void just outplayed me. Losers. He was 3rd seed. He got upset by Leia. Happens. And the matchup is Olimar's favorite, Peach or Olimar. I just feel like I made a lot of bad plays and mistakes and just kind of got outplayed there. Sucks. It's my fault, though. Even if I lost the 3rd seed and got a very low placing, it's my fault for losing. With that said, it's enough complaining. Also, it's my first time not taking top 8 in an Ultimate event. Now I'm done complaining. Let's talk about the Ruleset for Frostbite. And I didn't like the Ruleset for Frostbite. It tries some things, and I think the results are cool to have and show us not to use this Ruleset again. So specifically, I didn't like Town City being the 5th starter. I thought it was a good idea in theory, but what happened was it was too correlated with FD in my opinion, where most people either ban both stages, or if one of the stages was banned, they go to the other one. Because they're both long stages with minimal platform interaction. Town City has some correlation with Smashville, but I don't think people are really abusing like the mid-platform on Town City enough and running away otherwise to make it similar to Smashville. But the point is, Lila didn't have that issue of being correlated with another stage. So even though everyone didn't really like Lila because, oh my god, the slants and the glitch ledges that actually aren't really glitched anymore. It was character-specific things and people falling through stages, which is really just happens in any stage, but I don't really see it happening on Lila anymore. And oh my god, the distracting background. Oh my god, the ships in the side. Oh my god, what if Fox taunts and causes text to appear in the bottom so I can't see the bottom anymore and blocks percents and causes me to lose? What about the engine? What about the underside being weird? What if my mom does some laundry and throws the laundry into a cosmic black hole and it gets shot onto the stage and causes my character trip and die at 20? And everyone has always complaints about Lilat. But I think it's a great 5th stage. I think it rounds out the stage was fine. I know like a 5% pick rate for starters at Genesis. And I think it's because people just don't like Lilat as opposed to anything wrong with the stage in particular. And I'm still willing to try out Town City more as a 5th neutral, but I think it's just worse. Other thing about the stages, I don't get why Unova was banned. Like, I understand it because it's hard to see things in the stage, particularly it snakes projectiles in the stage, and probably some other niche scenarios, but for the most part, I think it's people exaggerate how hard it is to see certain things on Unova. People also say sometimes the side platform is a little bit too high up. I don't think so. People say it's too similar to PS2, and I think it's as similar to PS2 as Battlefield is to Yoshi's Story, and Smashville is Yoshi's Island. Like, yes, there's similar stages, but you have 2 bans. You can ban both those stages if you find them too similar, but not always you ban both of them. There's a lot of times I ban Yoshi's Island, but not Smashville, or I ban Battlefield, but not Yoshi's Story. I ban Unova, but not PS2. So I disagree with that logic, and I think by that logic, I'd have to bring Unova back, or you get rid of Yoshi's Story and Yoshi's Island, and arguably Town, but that's a rabbit hole I'm not going to go into right now. So yeah, didn't like that. Next thing is DSR, and this is a tweet longer I made like in 2017 when no one cared about Smash. Everyone's complaining about Bayo and Cloud and Rosa, and me being campy, and blah blah blah, Zero's winning too much, blah blah blah, toxic community, blah blah blah. Point is, I retweeted it, and all this stuff about DSR applies to now. And what DSR is, it's Dave's super rule. Basically, it's when you win on a stage, you cannot go back to that stage in the set unless your opponent agrees to it. Now, most tournaments run modified DSR, which is what we're going to talk about in comparison to no DSR, which was what this event ran. So, no DSR actually affected my set versus Void. I'm not saying it's why I lost, but I am saying that Game 5, I was in a very shitty situation. Since there was no DSR, Void could go to any stage he won on if I didn't ban it. So I banned the 2 stages I lost on, Town and PS2. Statistically speaking, if someone wins on a stage in a set, and you go back to that stage in the same exact matchup, they're likely to win it again. I think it's like 60% based on data from Smash 4. It was even Ultimate data. Point is, that's a good number. So I gambled and said, you know what? I'm not going to ban FD, which is theoretically my worst stage in the matchup, because I haven't played it yet, and I lost in Town City and PS2. I lost in FD. Oh well. Now, the thing is with DSR, I wouldn't have had to ban FD. I could have banned PS2 because I lost there for game 1, and banned FD because that's still my worst stage in the matchup. Said you can't go Town, and he could have brought me to like another stage, which is still his favor. And kind of the core of my argument is going to be that DSR Modified DSR gives you an advantage if you're in the lead in a set, but not a huge advantage. Whereas no DSR gives you a snowball lead, because you have situations which happened I think somewhere else in the tournament. It was Shuton Myron, where Shuton kept bringing Myron to FD in Olimar Belmont because Myron kept winning there, and Shuton then goes to two other stages he banned, so he's forced to basically lose Olimar's counterpick multiple times in a row, which wasn't fair. Like, it's a huge snowball effect because either you, I'm not gonna keep saying this because the point is clear. Now, with DSR, what happens instead is, as I explained, you get these situations where I get to ban a stage I lost on, but it's not gonna be like overwhelmingly like against my opponent, where it's like, okay, I lost in this stage. Let's say I'm player 1, I lose game, I win game 1, cool. Lose game 2, game 3 I go to my 3rd best stage, win there. Game 4 my opponent goes to his 4th best stage, because he can't go to his 3rd best stage because he won there and I banned his 1st and 2nd best stage. He wins there, cool. Game 5, I get to go to either the neutral I won on game 1, or my 4th best stage, which is pretty fair. It's still my favor, because theoretically I should have a slight advantage, if not a neutral stage, like for game 5. And considering I have to lose twice in a row to lose that set, despite having that counterpick advantage, because my opponent also has a disadvantage of, his 4th best stage, which might just be a neutral stage, or like the 5th best stage. Considering that, I feel like I have quite a lead with modified DSR without having a snowball lead. And in a situation where I win on my opponent's counterpick, so I'm up 2-0, let's say, I have a huge lead. That's when it snowballs. If I win game 1 on neutral and then I win game 2 on my opponent's counterpick, even if I lose game 3, I get to go game 4 to either the neutral I won on, which is typically my favor, or if he bans that, a stage which is really my favor, my 1st or my 2nd best stage, or I can just go to my 3rd or my 4th best stage. And the point is, I have a huge advantage. Even if I lose game 1 and then I win games 2 and 3, just as long as you win your opponent's counterpick with modified DSR, you get a massive advantage. Like, you get that snowball effect, which is what people argue is the reason you don't have DSR in the first place. But at the same time, it's not a stupid situation where the opponent's going to the same stage over and over, or force you into shitty, unoptimal bans to not have that happen. So that's why I think we should have Dave Super Rule on, specifically modified Dave Super Rule, so we don't have these situations that happened at Frostbite. And that's just my take on the Frostbite rule set. Like I said, I don't really like it, things to work on, but at least I had this event to kind of see how these rules work and to know what we think about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and that's it for the video.